Lawman, lawman, the lawman came with the sun. There was a job to be done, and so they sent for the badge and the gun of the lawman.
I first became acquainted with Terry Box in early 1983, which was around the same time that Terry was appointed to serve as the chief deputy under the then Sheriff Joe Steenbergen. I knew at the time that Terry was appointed to serve as chief deputy that Joe Steenbergen must have had a great regard for him and great trust in him, or he would not have made that decision. Now, as many of you know, in the summer of 1984, Sheriff Steenbergen was involved in a very serious automobile accident. The injuries from the automobile accident kept him from returning to the office for a number of months. During an approximate 7-month period, Terry Box, as the chief deputy, ran the office, and he ran it with the skills of a seasoned agency manner. I watched him in those actions, and I was impressed. Then in February of 1985, Sheriff Joe Steenbergen died. That left a vacancy in the office of the sheriff. The laws of the state of Texas required that the commissioner's court fill the vacancy in the elected sheriff's position by appointing an individual to serve out the unexpired term. As a member of the commissioner's court, I knew exactly who I wanted to appoint. To me, it was a no-brainer. It needed to be Terry Box. So I went to Terry Box and I requested of him that he authorized me to approach the court and to put forth his name as a nominee to be appointed to serve the vacancy created by the death of Joe Steenbergen. Of course, I expected at that time that Terry would be honored that I made this request of him and that he would be happy, but his response was different. He simply said, "Absolutely not." I was shocked, and when I asked him to explain why not, Terry answered, "Because I'm not a politician and I'll never be a politician." Well, I have my own thoughts about that, and I believe that Terry did become a politician, but I'm going to leave it to all of his constituents to determine whether or not Terry actually became a true politician. However, I do know this about Terry. Sheriff Box served this county for more than 30 years through 3 decades of tremendous growth in this county. He skillfully provided the citizens of this county a safe environment in which to live and to raise their families. Terry's management skills with his department serve as an example for all to learn from and for many to follow. His service, his public service, was totally without a blemish. Looking back during the 2 terms that Sheriff Box and I served Collin County together, I find some points that were rather fun for us. In the late 1980s, Sheriff Box and I entered into a wager, and the wager had to do with who could get more donations of blood from their employees, and the winner of the wager got to do something unique that I will explain in a moment. As it turned out, my employees raised more donations of blood than Terry's did. And so I got to choose the result of the wager. And I chose to hit Terry Box in the face with a big pie, something that maybe no one else in this room has had that opportunity to do. It was fun, but then the fun turned on me a little bit. His deputies immediately arrested me, handcuffed me, took me to jail, and about the time they started booking me in, they called it all off and we all went home in fun. But it was fun, and even that little event of Terry having his employees donate blood for a blood drive adds to the many, many charitable things he has done for people in this county. I am very proud to have had a very small part in helping Sheriff Box develop his exemplary career.